my question is, I see around me that there are people who are name Muslims. They don't pray 5 times, they don't do the basics, they don't follow the proper hijab, they don't even try. But they are successful. Their du'as are getting accepted, they are very successful, they are very happy. However, people who try their best, they are struggling in many ways possible, whether it be hijab or prayer, their du'as are not getting accepted. Even the smallest ones, although we pray tahajjud, we go for umrah, hajj, but the people who don't even do the basics, they don't pray 5 times, as I mentioned, they are very happy and successful. So could you please elucidate?
I can elucidate.
Thank you.
You can stop to hallucinate. Okay, I'm kidding. Let me tell you something. I'm going to read something to you, okay? Okay, listen to this. This is not about Muslims who don't pray. This is about enemies of the Prophet. So I'm not talking about your friend in school who doesn't pray. I'm talking about enemies of the Prophet. People who try to kill him. They're really messed up people. And if Allah is angry with someone, you would imagine someone Allah is angry with who tried to kill the Prophet. Imagine that. Or injured the Prophet. Now listen to this ayah. وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. And those who have disbelieved should dare not assume أَنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ. That we give extensions to them and it's good for them. Allah is saying, I give them more wealth, I give them more children, I give them more success, I give them more victory, I give them more happy occasions, and they should never assume that that's something good for them. خَيْرٌ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ. إِنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ لِيَزْدَادُوا إِثْمًا. We're only giving them more and more so they sin more and more. Allah wants them to dig their hole deeper. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. And they shall have humiliating punishment. Okay, now let me give you another one. Before I talk about this. This is Musa alayhi salam. He's crossing the water with the Israelites. Who's behind? Fir'aun. Fir'aun, the head of one of the mightiest empires in history. Right? Listen to what Musa is saying about Fir'aun when he's crossing the water. وقال موسى ربنا إنك آتيت فرعون وملأه زينة وأموالا في الحياة الدنيا. Our Rabb, you gave Fir'aun and you gave his generals, his commanders, his governors, his cabinet. You gave them beautiful things and you gave them all kinds of wealth in this world. رَبَّنَا لِيُضِلُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِكَ. And you gave them all and they ended up misguiding other people from your path. Like you gave these messed up people so much, and what did they do with all of it? They created more evil. And who's saying this? Musa alayhi salam. Is this observation accurate? Yeah. He did. He did give. Allah does sometimes give messed up people lots of stuff. Doesn't he? And he gives them more and more. And they look happy. And then you have people that are, they're openly, let's come to the Muslims now. I wanted to give you these examples because these are terrible people. The examples you gave of some girl who doesn't wear hijab or doesn't pray or whatever, she may be disobeying Allah. Maybe she's not, to you she's Fir'aun, I don't know, but I'm sure she's not Fir'aun. I don't think she's killed thousands of babies. Right? So even people that are much more messed up than her, like who? Like Fir'aun, like the attempted killers of the Prophet, Allah gave them what? Allah. Why is Allah giving us this in the Quran? Because what you have in this life, what you get, the happinesses, the joys you get, they will never be a measure of where you are with Allah, and they are never a measure of success. They're just not a measure of success. What did Surah Al-Asr teach us? All human beings are constantly in what? Loss. So our original condition as human beings is loss. That's our reality, right? And even though we have ups and downs in life, joys and difficulties in life, one thing never changes. Loss is always there. Loss will never go away. And the only people who don't have loss is not the people whose du'as are answered. The people who don't have loss are الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Now if you look at those people in the Quran, those who believed, did good, and then spoke out for the truth and were patient. By the way, patience is never needed when things are easy. Patience is not needed when your dua gets answered. Patience is needed when your dua doesn't get answered. Isn't that when patience is needed? So the perception needs to change. There's another thing you have to unpack in that question. You're looking at someone, and you're looking at how things are going for them. And then you're making a comparison with what they're going through with what somebody else is going through. And let me tell you, like, somebody told me this a long time ago, maybe 7-8 years ago, they told me, every time they stop praying, life gets easy. They told me. And every time they start praying, problems. They get sick, they get this, they get a problem at work, they got a problem in the family, drama starts, and then they get like frustrated, they just stop praying. And when they stop praying, what happens? Everybody's happy, life is easy. And it may be true for that person. And you know what? Sometimes Christians preach, follow Jesus, life will be good. Right? And Muslims sometimes become Christian in their understanding and say, follow Islam, life will be good. No, follow Islam, life will be challenging. Follow Islam and you will learn how to deal with your challenges. Not follow Islam, life will be good. Life will remain challenging anyway. أم حسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Did people think they're going to say that they believe? And they're going to be left alone. They're not going to be tested. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think Ibrahim alayhi salam made dua for his father? Do you think that ever happened? Do you think Nuh alayhi salam made dua for his son? Do you think Yusuf alayhi salam made dua all those years for you? Yaqub made dua for Yusuf alayhi salam, or Yusuf made dua for Yaqub to go back? Did that happen? It did, right? Did Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam make dua for Abu Talib? These are basic questions, right? And those people are really close to Allah. They're much closer to Allah than you and I are. From what you know of those stories, did those du'as get answered according to their hopes? No. But they're pretty close to Allah. So before we ask, why is this happening in our life, we need to ask the question, why did that happen in their lives? Because they're the model, right? If the idea is, if we get closer to Allah, all our prayers will be answered. And they're much closer to Allah, and their prayers didn't seem to get answered by the standard definition of answer. They just didn't seem to get answered. Allah is giving us a worldview, my dear. Like, if you don't understand this worldview, you are headed for a life of misery. The worldview is, you and I ask Allah, Allah will give on His terms. We have to trust what Allah will give. And just because Allah gives something that looks good, doesn't mean that it is. And just because Allah gives something that looks bad, doesn't mean that it is. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah knows when something is bad, it's actually bad. When something good is actually good. وَيَدْعُ الْإِنسَانَ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاءَهُ بِالْخَيْرِ وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. I was just reading something with Ustad Hiba in our course. We read something in Jahili time, pre-Islam. Some people understood this even before Islam, man. There's one guy gave advice. He said, when you have two choices, فَاخْتَارُوا بِخَيْرِهِمَا صَبْرًا. Choose the one that's better in the long run. لِأَنَّ كُلَّ مَوْرِدْ مَغْرُوفٌ. Because every new thing, every new water, everybody wants to drink from it. Right? So you see something, everybody wants it, everybody's getting it, you're not getting it, because it's a trend. Says, don't follow. This guy, even before Islam was giving advice to his tribe, he got old. He said, by the way, don't follow trends. Because not every trend is good for you in the long run. Right? So that's something I really want you to internalize and become content with. But so long as you're looking at other people and what they're getting and what they're not getting, you can't ever be content in life. You need to disconnect yourself from what Somebody got something or didn't get something, good for them. None of my business. إلا ما متعنا به أزواجا منهم, yeah?